Today in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a PvP game in Rec Room. This is going to be broken into two parts. But before we start, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment while you're at it. It really helps me out a ton. Now, without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Now, let's create a room. Go ahead and open up your watch and click create. Now, click create a new room and select the template maker room. Now give it a name. Once you click create, you will be teleported to the exact room you created. So we're just going to click. And there we are, we're being taken to the room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all these walls and leave the floor on. I'm also going to delete this. Now we're going to turn on beta creative tool. So go ahead and click setting on this room. Scroll down in the main settings until you see allow creative tools beta. Press that, press save, and now the room is saving. And now you have beta settings on. With the beta tools on, you now have access to a ton more shapes and components that you wouldn't have access to. And they make building a whole lot easier. Now, let's talk about ink management. If you do not have access to Limits v2, here's a good way to space out ink. You have 100% worth of ink inside each room. 30% of the ink should be spent for the environment, like the map and the starting area. 20% of the ink should be for circuits, like a leaderboard and anything else needing circuits. 30% should be for the weapons, because weapons take a lot of ink to make. And 10% should be for your gimmick. Each PvP room should have a unique gimmick that sets them apart from the rest. It could be a giant hammer that sends players flying when they touch it. Or it could be different perks that people can equip. And the last 10% should be saved for any updates you want to make. Now that we know how to manage our ink, let's talk about the map design. Most PvPs have a giant map to explore, with a border made out of shapes surrounding it. It could be bordered off by rocks, but make sure the map isn't too big, otherwise people will get lost or even just get bored of walking. If you do have a big map, you could put some ways to travel faster, like a cannon that launches you across the map. So we're gonna start off by creating a green platform. I already have this swatch saved, but you can change the materials here. I'm gonna go up a bit for aesthetic, and we're just gonna drag it till it looks about right. You can also self-scale by using the grip button on both controllers and pulling them towards each other, and it makes yourself bigger. So this will be our map. As you can see, it's a bit bigger than the starting plate, just a smudge bigger. So now let's add a border. I'm gonna move this out of the way. So I also already have a swatch for this, but if you want to make this, these are the colors and this is the thing. I'm also gonna size it up a little bit since we're gonna have big rocks. I'm gonna use the dodecahedron, and now I'm gonna scale myself up. Now we're gonna make giant, massive rocks. Like that. Using the trigger, you can grab your shape, manipulate it wherever you want. And now I'm going to use the clone feature to just clone. To give you guys reference, this is the size of the rock. I just realized that these are separate shapes, so I'm going to merge them by selecting this shape using the select tool, selecting this shape, clicking the options and clicking merge shapes, and now they're together. So I'm going to biggin up again, clone. If you want to make it a little less choppy, you can turn off the snapping. That's what I'm going to do. And I am finished. There is no way people are escaping now. If you want, you can go around and check for any gaps you may want to close. Any place people can use to escape, they will use to escape. So, make sure that every single gap, crevice, and little space are closed. Perfect. This is looking a little flat. So let's add some mountains. I'm going to use the pyramid shape, the simple pyramid, and again, just scale it up all the way. We're gonna scale it up even more because let's actually add some width to this. Okay, now just clone it around the entire border yet again. It's a little easier since it's way bigger. Now look how cool this looks. This actually is sick. I'm gonna merge these because they are not merged. And I'm just gonna add a few more minute details, like some extra mountains here. It looks pretty nice. Nobody's escaping. Yeah. Another thing people seem to like are different biomes inside the map. So we're just gonna use the recolor tool to recolor some of the grass into other things. Like for example, we can use this pineapple color along with the sand texture recolor this bit, and now we have a desert part. We can use this blue and then this metal, and now we have an ice part. I don't really like the look of that, so I'm gonna make it more like snow, like a snow biome. There you go, that's a little better. And then lastly, we can add like a little dead biome, like everything is dead around it, nothing's alive. And then we'll keep the grassy biome. You can do whatever you want with these. You can do whatever you want with these biomes. You can do whatever you want for the border. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's creative and it's your own. For the grassy biome, I'm just gonna make some simple houses, like a town. So let's start off with the foundation. Let's get a simple wooden wall. We can clone it, rotate it, move it. Now we create a simple door. And lastly, you can use this triangle to create a roof. And voila, you have a house. And let's clone it. Clone it again. This little thing right here, 2 arrows pointing to a wall, that's called flip. It basically mirrors. If you don't want that, you can just rotate it a bit. It's more natural this way. I created some simple pathing, and now we're just gonna merge all 3 of these. And now you have like a little simple 3-house area where you can find weapons and other stuff. Now for the grasslands, I'm gonna make some hills using the diamond shape. Just bring this down. You don't have to use the diamond shape either. Like, you could use another dodecahedron like we used for the walls. You can use whatever that shape is. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't even know what that shape is. Making these things is actually really simple. These small little details, like a little town, maybe a barn right there, maybe like a little farm, maybe like a cow. This makes your room a lot more engaging and a lot more cool. It gives it more personality, if you will. Like, for example, you can literally just take a cube, draw it up from here, recolor it to make it look like a patch of wheat, clone it, give it some depth, give it some like rotations, and then you can set it to decoration, which means it's not a part of the physical areas, and you can actually just walk right through it, and now you have a patch of wheat. Another thing we can do is just select this entire thing, clone it over here, move it up a little, and recolor it to make it look like a barn. Add a few more details in here, like piles of grain or wheat or whatever. And now you literally have a barn for your wheat pile. And now you literally have a barn. Like, it's that simple. You don't have to add too many details. And now you can basically say that this place is done. I mean, it could use more details, definitely, but this is just a start. Like, we got that. So for this area, I'm gonna make some pyramids. Another thing people love to do is have their little own castles. So we're just gonna merge these real quick and create a little castle for people to enjoy. It's gonna be made with sandstone. Clone this, create a very, very simple castle. 2 pillars are here for the entrance. And finally, the one thing people always want in a PvP. A microphone and a throne to sit on. Now you can just sit on your chair while you look at your kingdom and say, this is chaos. And then now we can just say that this is done. We can actually put this in the middle of the place and also scale it down a bit because it's kind of big. Then let's grab the microphone. Now you can just sit in your chair while you talk to the people of the world. And honestly, people really do not care if you just clone the castles. People, they do not care. They don't care. I mean, some might, but others don't. And then you just edit it, recolor it to make it look like the theme. And then you're done. Why did I teleport all the way over here? Now for this one, we are going to do a different terrain. We're going to do this spiky terrain. And we're also going to do some lava. And then we're just going to grab a dodecahedron. Maybe put this here. Put this giant bit of lava here. Lava everywhere. A giant lava. So we got the grasslands, we got the lava, we got the desert, and now we just got the snow biome. We're going to do the original pyramid, and we're just going to create some giant icy spikes. And lastly, we're gonna do something similar, which is take this stuff, clone it over there, just rotate it like this, and I don't think we need to do anything there, because look, perfect. Uh-oh. Alright, now we got that fixed, so we're gonna freeze that. Now we have the entire map created, and we're literally under 10%, people. Like, you can add so much. I'm just doing it for the video, but you can add so much to this. Like, it's insane. Now for the spawn area, I'm gonna use the invisible collision. Find the middle, and just, you know, roughly just align it with the invisible collision. And then you can freeze it if you want. I'm gonna leave it unfrozen. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to border this with a very simple border, because you don't want people just like walking off, you know? Like if they're like planning to do something up there, you don't want them walking off. So let's just border real quick. And by border, I mean like outline like where it ends, where it begins. So now we're going to find the welcome mat, the V2, and just wherever you want people to spawn, place a welcome mat. I want them to spawn right here and right here. And now whenever people join or they die, they'll spawn right here or right here. Let's configure these to have a bigger area, like that big. I'm adding a storefront because in part 2, I'm going to show you how to set this up with keys, inventions, whatever you want. And yeah, this is just the basic starting area. And now the entire map and starting area is finished. Now let's talk about actually starting the game. All you need to start the game is a game chip. So go into your palette and search game chip. Well, it's actually called a game rules chip. And this is what it looks like. Go ahead and configure it and click the game rules. You don't need to worry about the name. Manual start requirements. You don't need to worry about that. Automatic start requirements. You can enable that. Oh crap, the game's about to start. Oh no. We're gonna end the game. Alright, so like I was saying, good, I'm gonna keep that off for now. But make sure to turn that on. You don't need the voiceovers. Timing, you could set the game start to 1-1. The game should be permanently started. Respawn on game start, respawn on game over, yep. Join in progress support. This is really important, okay? This needs to be on. Now the teams, you can set the teams to how many people you want in the game. I'm gonna set it to 20. And set the team size to 1. The player visuals. You should turn off the player outfits. You don't need to do any of this. Go to combat settings, change the health, change the shield. I'll set the shield to 100. Auto heal, you're gonna want this on. Auto heal delay 5. Auto heal duration, let's say 25. Player hued. Yep, player hued enabled. This you'll just see the health on the bottom of your screen. It's really good. And all of this. Uh-oh. Rec room. I hate you. Okay, so let's do this again. So do not turn on that out of bounds, because that's what glitched my game. Okay, so we're gonna put this right here for safekeeping, just in case we need to ever, find it again. It's gonna be right here in the middle. And now we need weapons. So just go into your palette, go to props, and go to weapons. Whatever weapon you want, you can put. I recommend piling them up first in one area, so just spawn every weapon you want. So the reason I spawned everything up here is because I actually want to get rid of the beacons and set the respawn. So go ahead and select literally everything by just click and hold, configure everything, turn off the beacon for everything, make sure it's set to is grabbable, respawn. The delay should be set to around like 15. Now every single time you move it, after 15 seconds, that should respawn back there. So go ahead and place these wherever you want. Go ahead and freeze your invisible. So this sword, for example, behind here. Let's make it found right there. You can also just select whatever you want in each map and move them all at once. And with that, the final weapon has been placed. And we've used about 30% ink for the weapons. Like I said, I kind of just place them everywhere, but you can strategize. Like you could place like paint weapons over there, like laser weapons over there, like quest weapons over there. I don't know what you do with that. This, I don't know. You could put like custom weapons right here. Or you could put like a custom weapon in each area. The possibilities are endless. Oh yeah, I just realized after the glitch, I didn't put the welcome mats back. Now that we have everything working, all we need to do is just get a scoreboard. I'm going to place it in the middle. So there are 20 teams now, each with their own distinct thing, and you can start it at 1. And now all you need to do is just click that and you start the game. Get some people in here and fight each other. Simple as that. That's the end of this part. If you liked it or found it useful, consider subscribing and leaving a comment down below. And stay tuned, because in part 2, we're going to explain how to set up all of the things that you need to make money and keep engagement. What's not to love. Lastly, have a wonderful day.